John, it's a great time of year for you back in an All-Ireland semi-final.
Yeah, listen, we're there now. I suppose it's been probably quite a long road getting there, but it's amazing how quickly the weeks and months fly by. And even this spell now, where people probably spend most of the time obsessing about the break, we found that the whole thing really flew by. Now, to be honest with you, we gave the lads a couple of days off after the Munster final, and we got back into it the week after, and the weeks have just flown by. So it didn't feel like a protracted length of time at all. It came around really, really quickly.
Finishing on such a high, winning the Munster final, do you think that it would kind of stop that momentum, the 5-week break?
No, not at all. Not at all. I suppose it gives us an opportunity, first instance, to take a break and recover after the round robin in the Munster Championship. So that was hugely important to allow the players to refresh and ourselves to refresh and reset the button, I suppose, before we go again. And we've worked really, really hard now for the last 2.5 weeks to get ourselves ready for next weekend. So it's been ideal, really, to be honest with you.
John, you kind of have it all. You have the 3 big titles, and it can be a lot of added pressure going into a game like this.
I think no, I don't look back very much, to be honest. Don't spend very much time thinking about anything that's happened in the last 12 months, to be quite honest, because it's just been one of those periods, I suppose, where we've constantly been looking forward, looking to the next challenge, and no bigger challenge than Kilkenny in an All-Ireland semi-final, I suppose, at the end of the day. So that's one clear way of getting your mind focused on the future, and on Saturday evening in particular at 6 o'clock.
What's it like facing a side like Kilkenny? You can never know what to expect them. You can never write the cats off.
Well, one thing you can expect, and I expect it in spades, is the level of intensity that they play at, and the work rate that they have as a team, and the resilience that they have as a team. They're renowned for it, and we can see it in every performance that we look at when we're analysing them. So that's one thing you can be guaranteed, that you're going to get an absolutely horrendous level of intensity and tackling. So and they're ruthless when they get the chances up front as well. They've scored a really huge amount of scores. They're creating 38 to 40 scoring chances every match. So they're in a really good vein of form, and I know it's going to take a huge performance from us to be competitive in the first instance on Saturday night. And if we're going to try and get the result, we're going to have to play extremely well.
Sharing a sideline with Brian Cody on Saturday, I'm sure frustrations will be extremely high.
Yeah, listen, Brian does his thing and I do my thing. We've huge regard for each other. I have huge regard for him, I can tell you anyway. What he's done in the game has just been extraordinary. 22 years, 11 All-Ireland senior titles as a manager. There's nobody going to surpass that, I can tell you, no matter how long they're involved or how many counties are involved either, for that matter. So his record stands for itself. His team's performances stand up for themselves, and as I said, you know what you're going to get any day you go out against Kilkenny. It's going to have to be the best possible performance just to be competitive with them.
We always ask players what's it like the leading up to the day of the match. What's it like for John Kiely at home? What you do to relax yourself? Because I know you give the lads time off, but what do you do?
Well, we're usually busy away from it all. You're dealing with the medical team, you're dealing with the stats team, and you're dealing with the logistics guys that are getting the plans in place for travel arrangements, food arrangements, all the various different bits and pieces. So you're always busy, and probably better off, because when you're not, your mind probably drifts to places that you're probably better off not going to. So the last few days can be tricky enough because everything is in place, and you're hanging around a little bit. Car gets a good clean, I can tell you, the day before the match, just to keep the mind occupied. And that's about the size of it, really. I'm probably not the best person in the world to be around. I think the day or two before the game,
you cranky John Kiely.
I could be a little bit hedgy, all right, So that's about the size of it.
That's about it. But come here, on other days as well, I must say, I've often wondered what's it like, especially in big matches like this. Do you ever feel like nerves kick in, maybe when the escort happens, or when the march happens on the pitch? For you, do you just like to block all that out?
Listen, it's all part of the process on the day, and that process can be used in a positive way for you to get to a point where you want to be on a given day. And if you can turn that into a positive, use it as a positive. And if you find it a negative and you find it hard to process that, well, then just stay away from it and keep your mind elsewhere. So I think it's just with experience you get used to it. You don't take as much notice of it as you may have in the earlier days. So I find it's just part of the process now. We just get used to it and we get on with it. And again, we have our routines and we stick to our routines. And if you have good routines, they get you through those moments in the build up to the game. And you get better at maybe making sure that your focus is in the right place going into those couple of moments.
John, I was chatting to the lads earlier, and I must say I've been here a lot of Tuesday evenings, and I've never received a 99 like the rest of them.
No, I used to be here for the end of the session to get the ice cream, and it has to be a sunny evening. We don't do it in the rain.
We don't get them at all.
Yeah, who knows? It might rock on later on. We have to wait and see. I haven't made the phone call yet.
Thanks very much, and the best of luck on Saturday, John.
You're welcome. Yeah.